Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about my makeup inventory. I do these every 6 months. I've been doing it since July of 2020. And yeah, this is my update. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how much my collection has grown in the last 6 months. Last time I did this was in June. I will link the last video down below if you want to have a look. But I will talk about my previous numbers and then where I am right now. I'll start with face palettes. I didn't talk about face palettes in my previous videos or my previous, like inventory catch-ups and things like that. It's a new category that I've added in. And I've got 3 face palettes right now. One of them is all highlighters. The other one is my Belgian Waffle. And another one is a cream palette. So yeah, they're all like a mixture, some blush, some highlighters, bronzers and highlighters, and I just figured it would be a nice category to add in. Lip products. So lip products is a category, like a whole category that I am banning for 2022. I do not want any lip products whatsoever. I have far too many. I have a whole drawer of lip products, and that would include lipsticks, like bullet lipsticks, lippy pens, everything like that, liquid lipsticks, lip glosses, lip liners, and also lip balms, lip oils, etc. Lip balms, I had 16 back in June. I have 22 right now. Lip balms isn't looking so bad. I group lip balms and lip oils together, so it has increased a little bit because I have picked up some lip oils from Colourpop in the last 6 months. I have tried to pan lip balms. It's one of those that I kind of struggle with. Lip products in general, I struggle panning altogether. So that's why my collection is just too big and I need to stop buying them until I can figure out a way to get through them. In terms of lip gloss, I had 15 and now I've got 17. So I think that's pretty good. I also panned one as well. So I finished a lip gloss, which is a huge achievement for me. So I would have had 18 had I not panned that. So I'm quite happy that I panned it and I only have 17. I think that's a pretty good number. Liquid lipsticks, I had 14 and I have 14 now. So that one, I know I've picked up one liquid lipstick, definitely in the last 6 months, maybe even more than that. So I don't know how that number is the same. I think what's happened is in June, I probably counted wrong and I mistook an item for liquid lipstick or whatever. I just probably counted wrong. It happens. So that one, it's the same, but technically it's not. It should, it should have gone up by at least 1 to my knowledge that I know about, but it's at 14 right now. And then bullet lipsticks or lip pens or lippy sticks, like the lippy sticks from Colourpop, I've grouped those all together. This one has grown a lot and I'm not really sure what happened. So just to give you some context, in July of 2020, I had 22 of them. In December 2020, I had 24. In June of this year, I had 27. So, it's been going up like 2 or 3 at a time. Now, during that time, I did declutter some lipsticks. And since then, I have added them back into my collection. So that kind of explains why it's jumped, but it doesn't explain why it's jumped so much. Because when I counted them today, I have 49. Now I did pick up some, I also got some lipsticks from my mom, like she decluttered some lipsticks to me, but that would have only been like a handful in the last 6 months. So let's say that was 5. And then I got some lippy sticks from Colourpop, maybe that's 7 or 8 altogether. From 27 to 49, that's not 8 additional ones. So I don't know where the rest have come from. Now, because I added back in the ones that I decluttered, that might have only been like 3. So let's say it's 10 or 11 that I'm adding back in. The numbers still don't add up. I'm still about 10 or more away from where I actually am. So I can't figure it out. I must have done my counting wrong. I don't know what happened, but that does not make sense. And 49 lipsticks is crazy. I like lipsticks. So lipsticks I enjoy more than lip gloss and liquid lipstick. So yeah, that in terms of like the ratio between them, that makes sense to me. Next up, I've got primers. So the primers, I know that I have been growing my primers quite rapidly this year. not on purpose either, I just keep buying primers. I've said this in multiple videos. I keep buying primers. I don't know what's wrong with me. So back in July of 2020, I only had 6. In December of 2020, I had 2 because I managed to pan so many primers. And I think what happened was, because I got down so low, I was thinking, okay, I only have 2 primers. I need to go out and buy primers. I need to build my primer collection again, because I was on a high of panning so many. So in June of this year, I had 10. So that grew quite fast, you know. And between June and now, I have panned 2 more primers. Like, I get through my primers. It's like, that one is always something that I'm always going to be working through in a project pan or multiple project pans, because it's an item that I always have. So I always need to try and pan it, right? But now I have 16. It's just an issue. I'm panning primers, but it's just growing more and more. I don't need any more. So primers is another product that I really want to put in for a no buy for 2022, because I want to get through what I have, most of what I have. If there's a primer that I absolutely love, I'm not going to go and repurchase it, because I have all these other primers that I need to get through. So I'm just telling myself that. Next up, face powders. Yeah, face powders. So I haven't split them between pressed powder or loose powder, but I will tell you this. I have counted how many I have, so I'm going to tell you, and then I think in my spreadsheet I will split them out. But in the previous times I did this, I didn't have them split up. So I had no face powders back in July of 2020. In December of 2020, I had 2. And this year in June, I had 5. So it grew a bit. And now I have 7. So out of those 7, 3 of them are loose powders. 1 is like a full-size loose powder. The other 2 are small. I've got the Laura Mercier in a mini, and I've also got the Beauty Bakery in a mini, and the Maybelline big one. I can't remember the name of it. So I've got those are my loose powders. And pressed powders, I actually enjoy more than loose powders. I really don't like loose powders, so I'm not going to be buying any more loose powders, but I've got 4 of the pressed powders. I'm going to be on a no buy. I don't really need any more than 7. There's the Kosas one, which I really want to try. So that one, potentially, I might buy. I might buy it if I can get my hands on it. From what people have said, it sounds like a beautiful product, and a product that I want in my collection, but I don't need it. But it is something that I desperately want. Like, I want it. So, but if I'm going to get a face powder, it's going to be that. It's not going to be anything else. Next up, we'll talk about eyebrow products. This is an item that I do not care for, and I'm not going to be buying. So in June I had 4, now I have 3. I did actually finish 2 eyebrow products. I didn't finish 2 of them. I finished 1 of them, and the other one I decluttered, but I did add in 1 from Primark at some point in the last 6 months. So that's why it's only gone down 1, even though I went through 2. But yeah, eyebrow products I do not use. I really don't do much with my eyebrows. I say that in so many videos. It's boring now. I won't talk about it too much, but it's just not something that I generally do. So bronzers. Okay, so bronzers, bronzers was an item that I wanted to grow. I purposely wanted to grow my collection this year. So I've done that, and it has grown. And I think I'm at a place where I'm satisfied with it, but I still don't feel that I have found the perfect bronzer for me. So I don't know if I'm going to pick up some more bronzer at all, but I definitely don't need any more. So what I had the previous years, I mean, back in July of 2020, I only had 3. And then December of 2020, I only had 3. So, you know, that's why I was feeling like, actually, yeah, let me grow this. Let me see what products I can find that I'm going to like. And then, you know, I just went out and did it. I kind of built my collection, but I built my collection in a really stupid way, because I've ended up with some bronzers that are slash highlighters, and they're too deep for me and they're horrible quality. So yeah, I've got some like 3 Primark bronzers that are horrible. But anyway, so in June I had 9 bronzers. Right now, what I've done is, I didn't have it split up between powder and cream because I didn't have any cream before, but I have cream right now. So I have 12 powder bronzers now and one cream bronzer. Now, when I say I have one cream bronzer, I technically have two because I have one in my e.l.f. face palette and it's a cream bronzer. But because I'm sort of marking those as face palettes, I'm not marking it as a cream bronzer in my cream bronzer category. But I technically have two. Concealer. So concealer is something that I'm always gonna like work through. I've never found a perfect concealer for me. My under eyes always crease, whether I use like powder or whatever and set the under eyes, or whether I don't. It's just always, that's just the way my eyes are. And I've pretty much had that since I was like 20 or 21. I've always had like creasing under my eyes. Obviously I'm older now, but it's just like how my face is set. I don't know. So I don't think any concealer is going to help that. And then what I really like to use concealer for is just to brighten my under eye. I don't really use it to conceal anything. It's mostly for brightening. So I had 6 in June and I have 7 now. I did pan 2 in the last 6 months, but because I panned them, I've been buying some more just to like replenish, not the same ones, but I've been like just adding more to my collection just to keep it sort of at an even level. And I don't think I need any more, to be honest, at this point. So I'm quite happy with what I've got. Mascara is an item that I usually only have 2 open at a time. At the moment I do have 3 open, but I'm going to get rid of one of them. So that one I may have more than 2. I do, but I don't have them all open, so I feel like they're not wasted because they do dry up and they don't last very long. So mascara is an item, like one of my favorite items in terms of makeup. Not I don't really have a favorite mascara. Actually, that's a lie. I love the YSL mascara that I have, which I've yet to open. I don't know what it is. I got it and then COVID happened and then I just haven't worn it since then. It's my absolute favorite. Yeah, anyway, so I had 6 in June and I have 8 now. I think 8's quite high actually for me in terms of mascara. I usually only have a handful at a time, but yeah, I'm gonna get rid of one and then I'm only gonna have 2 open at the same time. So I think it's fine. I don't really need any more. Setting spray. I didn't mark these in my other videos. Even though I had some, I didn't talk about them in June. I think I only had 3 at the time, or maybe 2. But right now I have 5 and that's fine. I'm almost done with one of them, so it's technically going to be like 4. So yeah, that one's fine. Nothing really to say about it. I'm not a huge setting spray person, so it doesn't really bother me. Single shadows. So single shadows is not an item that I really feel like building. Lots of people have beautiful collections of single shadows and they build their palettes with their single shadows, and there are so many indie brands that sell beautiful, beautiful single shadows and multichromes and yeah, stunning, stunning, stunning shimmery shades. But for me personally, I don't think I would really ever use them. I don't use the ones that I currently have and I don't feel like building that collection. So in June I had 5 and now I've got 6. I've only got 6 because my mum's given me one that she didn't want and I don't really particularly want it either, but I haven't done anything with it. So that's why it's grown. Foundation. So foundation, I feel like I have a pretty even like steady flow of foundations. I get through them quite at a good pace, I feel. And if I have too many, then I kind of slow down, which I'm at the point now where I feel like I have too many, so I've slowed down. So yeah, back in June I had 6 and now I have 11. In the previous times I had 7 and 6, so it was about 7 or 6 every time I've had it. So right now I have more foundation than I currently have ever had, and I don't really need any more, and I'm quite happy with the ones that I have. I have some favorites, like the Urban Decay one is definitely a favorite of mine. I really like the e.l.f. CC Cream one. I've got a color 2 ColourPop ones actually that are really nice. So yeah, I've got some really nice foundation that works well for me, so I don't feel like I need to buy any more right now. Okay, so let's talk about highlighters. So highlighters is an item that I generally don't like using. I don't know what it is. I think they're so beautiful, and they look really beautiful when you see them on camera, when you're doing your makeup. But then when you're walking around town or like around your house, sometimes they can look really bad. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my application, but I feel like they're just a little bit too poppy, and they look just too fake for me. Having said that, I have quite a lot of highlighters, and I don't think it's an item that I really want to continue buying, I think, at this point, because it's not something that I like to use, and it seems to be an additional step for me. It doesn't seem to be a step that I feel like I have to do in order to finish my makeup. It always seems like, oh, okay, yeah, let me do my highlighter. Just because it doesn't feel like I have to. Whereas, you know, I can't leave the house without mascara, you know, or I don't know. I think that's the only example that I can give, because that's kind of true. Like foundation and mascara are like the number one products that I would use on a day-to-day basis if I had to leave the house, and then bronzer blush would be after that. But yeah, highlighter is something that I don't really like that much, I've kind of realized. So having said that, I have quite a big collection. And then my collection grew quite a lot as well. So back in July of 2020, I only had two, and I didn't have them separated. So in terms of like highlighter, I think it was just powder highlighter, but I've separated now between highlighter, liquid, and also cream. But I didn't have it separated then. So yeah, I had two, oh no, I did. I had two powder highlighters and four liquid highlighters. In December of 2020, I had 5 powder highlighters and 5 liquid highlighters, so I had 10 in total. Now, what happened was in June, this grew quite a bit of this year, I ended up having 14 powder highlighters. But I remember when I did that, I was counting the highlighters that I had in my Belgian Waffle base palette from BH Cosmetics, because there's 3 highlighters in there. So I know I counted that one. I think also at the time, I might have got that Ofra highlighter palette, which has 4 highlighters in there as well. So I might have been counting those, whereas now I'm counting those as face palettes, and like they're a little bit separate. So that might be why it's jumped so much, but also I did buy quite a lot of highlighters during that time. Now counting now, it's a little bit harder to count now, because I have 10 powder highlighters like as separate products, but I also have 3 highlighters in duos. So you know, when you have the blush and the highlighter duo, I have 3 of those. I have an Oprah one, I have an e.l.f. one, and I have a May one. But I keep all of those with my blushes, but then I realized, oh, actually I have highlighters in those. So I haven't dismissed those. I actually have 13 powder highlighters. So in the grand scheme of things, somehow it's gone down from 14 to 13 in terms of powder highlighter. I'm not really sure. I think I just counted it wrong last time and like was mixing things up. It's definitely gone up, because obviously I'm not counting my face palette. So that one, I just don't need any more than that, to be honest. And I went through a highlighter ranking. I'm not sure if I have that video posted before I post this video, but there's a lot of highlighters that I don't really like. And there's highlighters that I think are gorgeous, like the Kiko Milano one is my all-time favorite. I think it's so beautiful. And my MAC one, Whisper of Guilt, is absolutely stunning. That's the second one that I've basically almost panned. I love it. But I don't, you know, I think those blinding ones are really stunning and beautiful, but in terms of like the wearability of them, I think that it's really hard to wear highlighter in public. So yeah, it's just not an item that I want to grow in 2022, if I'm honest. In terms of liquid highlighters, it's the same thing. I don't really need to add any more liquid highlighters. I go off liquid highlighters a lot, and then I go back on them. In June I had 6, so you know, went from 4, 5 to 6, and now I'm at 9. So it grew quite a lot in the last 6 months, because I did pick up, I think, 3 liquid highlighters from subscription boxes before I moved. I was still getting subscription boxes, and I think I got like 3 or 4 subscription boxes in 1 month. So I got quite a lot in the last couple of months that I was in England, and yeah, I picked up some liquid highlighters there. I also bought one from Poundland, which was stupid of me. I shouldn't have done that. but that's why that one's grown. So I know that, and I don't, you know, it wasn't purposeful, you know. I only bought one of them, so it really should have only gone up once, and it's been going up once every 6 months anyway. So that kind of, you know, I don't feel too bad about that because it was unintentional. And then cream highlighters, I didn't count these, but I have 2 at the moment. One, I do have one actually in my e.l.f. face palette, but I'm not counting that one. So technically I have 3, but as like single cream highlighters, I've got one compact and then one like cream stick. So I think I'm good with those. All right, let's talk about blush. So blush, again, is an item where I wasn't I was counting all of my powder and my cream together, but now I have split them up. So last year, actually no, in June of this year, I had 15. So that was including like any cream blushes I had. That was like everything, which is crazy that it's grown actually so much. Because right now, in terms of powder blush, I have 20. And in terms of cream blush, I have 8. And I'm not counting blush that are in face palettes. Because I have 2 cream blush in my e.l.f. face palette. So technically I have 10, but I'm only counting 8. So yeah, that's actually grown quite a bit. Now blush, I don't really know what to say about blush. Blush, I have a handful or more than a handful that I really, really love. And then there's quite a lot of blush that I'm like, I don't really care for them, but there's something I could do but get through them because I don't really want to declutter them at this point. So yeah, blush is a strange one for me. Also, I go through stages of different colors and different shades that I like. So I really like pastel-y pink ones during spring, and then I get into like my more like peachy, like coral colors, and then I like sort of, I don't know if I really like the mauve blush. I tried it this year. I only have one mauve blush and it's pretty patchy. But during the fall, like autumn, I usually like just like a more neutral, still like on the peachy corally side, but more of a neutral one. So it depends on sort of the season, what type of blush I like. So, and then in terms of eyeliners, so moving on, I've only got 2 categories left, so don't worry, the video is almost done. Eyeliners is such a boring category for me. But it keeps growing and I don't want it to grow. It just grows. I had so many back in December of 2020. I had 15 and I don't know how I got 15 because I don't remember buying them. But I just ended up having so many because I barely do eyeliner. I mean, I have eyeliner on today, but I barely do it because I'm not good at it, for one thing. I think it looks great when people do it. I wish I was good at it, but I'm not good at it. I don't have the patience for it. Whenever I do it, it looks a bit messy, and so I just don't need it. And now, back in June, I had 20, and now I have 24, and that includes liquid eyeliners as well. I like the cream gel from Colourpop, and I like the fact I got a few of those that are colourful. So if I did pick up any eyeliners this next year, I think I'm just going to pick up colourful ones because 90% of the ones that I have are all black and it's just boring after a while. But if I have a pop of blue, I think that would be really cool if I have a pop of green or anything like that. So I might pick up a couple more, but they would be colorful ones if I do. Like an electric blue would be stunning. And then moving on to eyeshadow palettes. So I've left this one to the last because it's basically doubled since June, which is kind of scary, but I kind of understand why. So I did a big Colourpop haul in the summer. I also picked up a couple palettes from Juvia's Place, and in the last couple months I've picked up some Huda Beauty palettes. So it makes sense to me why this has grown so much. But anyway, in July of 2020 I had 11 eyeshadow palettes. In December I had 26. In June of this year I had 32. So it's been steadily growing. You know, I did declutter, but then I added them back in, and it's a whole thing. I'm really bad at decluttering, I've realized. And then now, so I was at 32, now I have 56. And I was going through my spreadsheet of eyeshadows, trying to add it in for the new year for my pan nose eyeshadows project, because I might start that where I do the number generator. I don't know, I'm just still like figuring out what I want to do, and I still haven't added in all of the palettes into my spreadsheet. I didn't do it for months, so I've been trying to add it in, and ugh, it's just taking forever. I'm in the 500s. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'm in the 500s. I don't want to do it anymore. So in terms of eyeshadow palettes, what I think will be realistic for 2022 is that I can't do a no buy, because I know I will purchase an eyeshadow palette in the next year. I just know I will. But I need to do something. I need to, I think what it is when I go and order an eyeshadow palette, or if I see one, I need to double check if I don't have a palette that literally has the same shades or the same color story or gives me the same sort of vibes. I need to just stop with that. I need to. I think what I need to do moving forward is just reflect on what I already have, use what I already have, which I've really enjoyed doing the last 4 months. Honestly, I have a whole new appreciation of my collection. I don't know what's really triggered it, but I really enjoy just focusing on 1 or 2 palettes for the month and just like honing in on it, using all of the shades. And at that point, once you've used all the shades in the palette and you've like done different looks, you kind of realize if you like it or not. And if there are eyeshadow palettes in my collection I don't like, then I think I'll do a better job at decluttering them once I've gone through this stage. So yeah, I think for 2022, the likelihood is I am going to buy some more eyeshadows. I am going to buy, you know, some more of these other, makeup categories, I guess. But yeah, gonna do no buy on lipstick, absolutely. No buy on primers, definitely. No buy on eyeliners unless they're colorful. And I think everything else, I just need to be smart about my purchases, and less about accumulating items, more about building a curated makeup collection. I think that's what I'm most intrigued by, and that would be my ultimate goal, just having a collection that I absolutely love. I love every product in my collection. It doesn't have to be a small collection or anything, but I don't want products that I don't like in my collection. That would be ideal, right? That's what everyone wants. Anyway, that is my video. Thank you so much for watching me ramble on for, I don't know how long this video is, and hope everyone is staying safe, and you know, you have a wonderful like holiday, Christmas break. If you can see your family and friends, that would be great. If not, then just stay in, stay safe, and stay warm or hot wherever you are. I don't know. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.